Enjoy.
All right. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us. I have my main man, Owen Shroyer, with us tonight. Thank you for joining me. I'm really
Well, I'm
excited to
glad to,
have you.
yeah, I'm glad to be here. You know, we don't get any attention, hardly any love from the mainstream media, except for a very few patriots that are left. So anyone that's willing to have me on their YouTube channel, which I'm banned from going live from, I'm very appreciative.
You know what? I've been looking for the day to bring you on with me, and today is just really a good day, and I was willing to take the opportunity to do it. So thank you for joining me. It's actually an honor. I mean, I really like working with InfoWars. I like working with all you guys. You're absolutely phenomenal, and you are at the tip of the spear for what's happening in America. So I know a lot of people are interested exactly what is going on with InfoWars, and what are your guys' next step?
Well, let me kind of answer that in one answer that answers both questions with kind of so our next step is to expand, and that's been the next step. So what is a perfect example of that is hiring people like you to do reports from us so that we can have satellites everywhere. And so you do a video, and here's what the censorship's all about. So Will Johnson makes a video called Black in America that needs to be viewed 20 million times. And so that's the kind of work we want, is powerful videos like that that can change the world. So the problem is right now we're being censored, where normally I would take that video or I would take this live stream and retweet it from the Alex Jones account, put it on the Alex Jones Facebook page, Twitter, YouTube, everything, where we have millions of subscribers. So you would get millions of eyes potentially on that. Well, now that they've censored us from all those platforms all at the same time, I'm sure that's not fascism. All at the same time they do that. And so we don't really have that reach anymore. And so that's what the censorship is all about. And it's Apple Podcasts, Spotify. I mean, you pretty much name it. Everybody, who's anybody in social media has banned Alex Jones. He's the first unhuman. So that's what we're dealing with. And the next step is still the same step, and that's to expand. We're going to expand in the face of the censorship. We're going to expand in the face of all this. This has been going on. It's obviously reached new levels, but that is the idea. It's okay. You're gonna hit us and try to keep us down, so we have to fight back and get bigger. That's the only option. So that's what InfoWars is doing. But again, I see a video like yours. I just before we went live here. I see a video like yours that you just did, Black in America, and it's only got, I think, a few thousand views right now. That thing needs to have millions of views. I mean, that's a video that should have millions of views, and that's why they censor us there, because we would try to get that video, and we would get it millions of views, and they don't want it.
Yeah, I think a lot of it, people are afraid to share it because they're afraid that Facebook or Twitter or even YouTube will put them in, they will ban them. We call it Facebook jail on Facebook. They're fearful, because these big media, these big social media outlets are banning people left and right, especially conservatives. Let me ask you, why do you think they're doing it now? Why now, out of all the times? Because, I was in Portland with you. I was in Berkeley with you. Come Monday, all of these social media platforms attack InfoWars at the same time within a 12-hour period. Why do you think they did it now?
Well, I'm not sure if it had anything to do with that weekend. Obviously, the footage we got that weekend was very powerful. I am sure, though, that it has something to do with the midterms, and I'm sure that the other reason that it has to do with, we probably don't even know yet. It may have something to do with a little teaser perhaps we saw where the Boston Globe announces the media in one day is going to start attacking Trump. Like, that hasn't been going on for 2 years. And then magically that day they get a bomb threat called in to the Boston Globe, which the FBI said they, didn't know how serious it really was. So they have some sort of false flag event coming up, or they think they can get away with one, and if Alex Jones isn't on the air, and if people aren't going to InfoWars like they had the access to before, well, then, they can maybe get away with it. And actually, I just realized this now. I think the biggest thing that they've realized is that whatever the next big event is, whatever it is, right? It's going to have a big hashtag, okay? And so basically what happens, the phenomenon that happens now is this hashtag becomes the medium that people are able to get information and get information out. And our audience and the people that they're shadow banning, like yourself and everybody on Twitter, are going to take that hashtag, dominate it, and then we would beat them in the information war on their platforms. So big event, obviously a huge hashtag. I mean, it's the same thing, whenever you do a live event, you look at the hashtag and you try to get information. Where should I be? What's going on? How can I get the latest information? You get that with a hashtag. So I think that that's really what the purge was all about right now. They're afraid if they pull a false flag and the hashtag goes viral and they have all the Trump supporters and info warriors and conservatives on Twitter questioning it, not believing it, then they can't get away with it. See? But if they're all shadow banned and they don't exist, right, and the television media is going to go along with whatever it is. I mean, God bless Sean Hannity for everything he's done for the Trump administration, but the guy's he's gonna toe the party line as far as the official narrative is concerned. So I think that's the biggest reason why it's happening right now.
Yeah, I'm completely with you on that. I've listened to Alex Jones InfoWars for years, and he's always mentioned how they are attacking him, how they're coming at him front and center. And a lot of people were saying they call him a conspiracy theory because he's saying he's being attacked. So now here it is, he's being attacked, and they all forgot that they were calling him a conspiracy theory. But now they're all just saying, he deserved it, especially the leftists. He shouldn't have said this about Sandy Hook, or he shouldn't have said this about the fat kid that he was never close to. So they make up stuff, and they constantly make up these lies. I've listened to Alex Jones enough to know that he's not a white supremacist. He's not a neo-Nazi. He's not what the left calls him. He's entitled to his opinion. And you know what kind of really pisses me off about all of it? CNN, MSNBC, and the rest of them all complained when Donald Trump called them very fake news, and then they're screaming, talking about free press. But where are they speaking up for InfoWars? If you want to talk about free press,
hold on a second. Are you insinuating that CNN has a double standard?
Absolutely. They do.
No.
Absolutely. I mean, it's sickening. I mean, where are they? If they truly care about free press, and if they truly care about getting the true story out, getting the facts out, they would be fighting for InfoWars, because you know what? Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, the social media, that is the new platform, or the virtual square. It's a square right now where people go and communicate. Before, people used to go out just, the town hall square, and then they would voice their opinion. But these are the virtual squares right now, and they're censoring us and our freedom of speech. And I can care less that they're talking about these companies are privately owned. They've created a public square in the virtual reality world, and now they're trying to censor our free speech in this square. That's exactly what's happening with InfoWars.
No, I think that's the next Ben Garrison cartoon idea. You just thought of it right here. It's an old style town square where people used to meet, exchange goods, ideas, gossip, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's like, but we have to put bags on our heads before we go into the town square, right? Like if I want to go into the town square, I have to put a bag over my head so that nobody can really see me or hear me. And so I'm just kind of fumbling around like, oh, yeah, people, you can hear me, right? But it's like there's a bag over it. So that's actually probably that should be the next Ben Garrison cartoon right there. But, speaking of CNN and where they're at right now, they're suing. At first, they were just trying to get the information from the judge of the jurors in the Manafort case. Now they're going through in a lawsuit. I mean, this is honestly like, we're like going beyond 1984. Like 1984, we passed that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Like
Yes.
We passed 1984. Where I don't even know where we're at now.
Yes.
I guess if we're in if it's 1984, we're in like 2018 from 1984, the actual Orwellian novel now, where CNN is suing to get the personal information of jurors so that they can bully and intimidate them ahead of the Manafort decision. I mean, that is like, I don't even know how you rack that up.
I know, and who's doing anything about it? I mean, how do they have the audacity to want to sue to get? They want to go to the House. They want to interview him during the trial, so they can try to collude with the jury,
which is illegal. It's all illegal.
So how I mean, so it's well, you know what I've noticed, that the left, they can break the laws because the laws don't apply to them. That's the very reason why they're for illegals. That's the very reason why they count the compound in Mexico where the Islamic terror was down there teaching these kids how to kill other kids. Why that is okay. Where's the media outcry for that? They are completely lawless. But for them to go in and try to sue to find out the addresses of these jurors is absolutely crazy. They want to harass these people and try to intimidate them to go a certain route because they want the president head on a platter.
Well, and this isn't the first time that CNN would have done that. Let's not forget how they went to that nice old lady's home and were harassing her, saying, "You're a Russian agent." You remember that? I mean, what? This is like next level stuff. But the left isn't only able to get away with breaking the law, they're able to get away with being racist. They're able to get away with being liars. I mean, they're able to get away with everything. They're able to get away with violence. They're able to get away with violent rhetoric. They get away with everything and do everything. They get away with fascism. I mean, it's unbelievable. They get away and are everything that they claim the right is. It's the most unbelievable form of projection. It's mass projection on a scale probably never before seen in human history. So it's just like, you pretty much can assume these days, if some leftist is pointing at you and saying, you know, you're a Nazi or you're whatever, that's probably what they are. That's who they are, projecting that on you.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And because I notice every time, for example, when we were in Portland, we're on our side. We're having communication with people, and some of them came over. None of them were attacked. No one was fighting on our side. Now, I don't know if they were fighting on the other side, but I know that they wanted to fight with us. But because of the Portland police was there, they kept them at bay. So as an end result, because they couldn't get to us, they started fighting with the Portland Police Department. And then a lot of them were arrested. And the same thing happened in Berkeley because they wanted to get to us and fight with us. They started fighting with the police department. And one thing I've noticed, and it's been a pattern, every time people are pro-Trump, pro-American, have gatherings, rallies, what have you, the left shows up and they're completely violent. They're throwing bottles, they're throwing rocks, they're throwing explosives, they're trying to hit people with sticks. Every time the left has a rally and conservatives show up, it's just words. Conservatives never do what they do, but the media never talks about it. It's always the other way around.
Well, it's just like what I was saying. That's what they're able to get away with, all of it. They're able to get away with everything that they claim that their opponents are doing. Like I said, we passed 1984 levels a long, long time ago. And, you know, I think it sucks for the police to be in this position where, you know, now you kind of see. So it's basically like, if the police don't stand in between whatever patriots are marching, Trump supporters, you know, gun rights activists, whatever, versus whatever anti-Trump women's march, whatever the left has decided to, you know, be selectively outraged about that day. If the police don't stand in between the two groups, it's going to get violent.
Yes.
And now it's, you know, it's on record. It's been documented. You documented it. We documented it. And so what do? Like you said, they fight with the police. They throw explosives at the police. I mean, they're legitimately trying to fight these people. And I think it's only going to make the police more upset and, you know, to a certain extent, enjoy beating their punk asses up when they get the opportunity to do so, quite frankly. And I mean, I don't know if they're going to keep it up. Like I said, I'm not too afraid of these people. I'm more afraid of a provocateur getting in there, and that's, somebody shooting somebody or somebody, doing something actually deadly, and, that has no political anything. They just want to see something pop off,
Exactly. I notice every time I go to these events, and a lot of times there's this gentleman that's with me. His name is Ben Bergquam, and he has a website called FightSanctuaryState.com, and he's a Caucasian male. I like to call him my wingman. And every time we go to these events, the left, they surround him because he fits what they want to attack. Just like when you were in Berkeley, they would try to surround you because you fit what they want to attack. You're a white male, and that's what they want to attack. He's a white male, and that's what they want to attack. With me, they want to avoid me like the plague for some reason. And so I tell them, I say, I'm almost jealous because, they'll follow you around and they won't say nothing to me. They avoid me. And I'm like, I try to have conversations with a lot of them, even though a lot of them are loony and they're completely off the left deep end. But they want to get at you because they want to push this narrative that white people are the problem in this nation. And I've been saying this is not anything new that I've been saying. I've been saying it for almost 2 years now, that over 2 years, actually, that the attack in this nation, and mainly because with Donald Trump, the people attacking this nation is towards the white male, the straight white male, and if you're a Christian. And that's one of the main reasons why they hate Donald Trump.
Well, and I'm taking a note here because I just remember something. I think that you just discovered something right here live on air. I think you actually just pinpointed my white privilege, and that's that the white liberals hate me. My white privilege is that I get to absorb all the hate and I get all the attention from the racist white liberals. But I think that they don't realize that they're hurting themselves if they even really have a political agenda. Because if somebody shows up to these events neutral, they go home a conservative. I mean, there's multiple people that have talked about that, on their YouTube channels, like Brandon Tatum, where they just go neutral to one of these events. I met some of them in Portland. I'm sure you did too.
Mm-hmm.
They go home neutral. They see the violence of the left. I mean, they see just the disgust. I mean, it's a totally mob, unruly scene. Versus the people on our side who, even if they don't agree with all their ideas, they'd much rather be, hanging out on our side of things than with the grublets over there. I mean, who knows what they're doing behind closed doors? So they're just hurting their cause, and I think it's all going to lead to a red wave, and they're just scared to death of that red wave. And if you get a red wave, and it's a MAGA wave, now you've opened up the doors for President Trump to do a lot more in his second term than he was able to do in his first term.
Oh, and that terrifies them because look at his accomplishments right now. They will lose themselves. So I was watching the War Room earlier today, and you mentioned on there that there's a certain product that's just only $5 right now. $5 bug spray.
Oh yeah, that's right.
You know what? Can you talk about that? Because I think that's really important. Because I was like, that is great. That's phenomenal. $5. $5
bug spray. No, so here's what happens. They make it like this, like it's some sort of like magic trick where we're like, here's all the chemicals in the water. Here's a water filter to filter your water, and they're like, ooh, gotcha, snake oil salesman. Like, yeah, tell them the water's poison and sell the water filter. It's like, no, the water is poison. I filter my water like, I want you to filter your water. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so all the time we'll get these stories. I'll see these stories in the news. And the story I saw today was that DDT, which is the main ingredient in most bug sprays, is now via some scientific research been linked to increased chances of autism. So, we look at a product like bug spray that is a household product, and we find a product or an ingredient in the product like DDT, which is very toxic. I had a friend that worked in the plants that manufactured the bug sprays, And when they're dealing with these chemicals and working with them before the final product, they basically are wearing hazmat suits. Oh, but then you put it in a can and label it, with the main bug spray label, and you can, rub it on your skin and call it bug spray. It rots a bug to evaporation, but rub it on your skin, which is the biggest organ in the human body. So we see this story, and I say, wow, a story here with a scientific study that says the bug spray has a toxic ingredient in it that could lead to an increased chance of autism if you're a woman and having a baby. So I go, wow, hey, look, and I didn't even know this. I mean, I think regularly the bug spray is like $15 or something. I mean, we have so many products at the store, at InfoWarsStore.com now. So I'm just like, hey, there's bad products in the bug spray, DDT. If you're looking for some chemical-free bug spray, go to InfoWarsStore.com and get the Emmerich's Essentials bug spray. And then we go, and then the crew pulls it up on the website, and it's I think it's $4.97 or something. Is the price? It's like $5, and I was just like, we're giving away bug spray. It's like free bug spray, $5 for a thing of bug spray. So no, that's funny, but that's what we do. And then they say, oh my gosh, look, you're a snake oil salesman. You're telling the people that the bug spray is causing autism, and you want to sell them a bug spray that doesn't. And I'm like, no, I'm just reading you the study and telling you that you might not want to use that bug spray. Why,
Right.
But that's outrageous now. Even though, but again, I thought that the left used to be all about organic and natural.
They're supposed to be. Everything. Take care of the trees. Take care of the land. Yes. But when it comes to things that's going to benefit the humanity, benefit women, benefit children, benefit people, they go against it. Because they're all for anything that's going to destroy humanity. They're for that 100%. Because bringing illegals in at an alarming rate, that's going to destroy this nation. And they know that's exactly what it would do. I mean, look at the black community right now with all the illegals coming in. They're the first ones to be affected by it. And the Democrats, because they love chaos and they love people being in poverty, they say nothing about it. They want to act like they're so compassionate, loving, and caring. But that's the whole agenda of the Democratic Party. Let me ask you a question. Were you ever a Democrat? Or have you always been? No. See,
no. In fact, I would never even claim that I'm a Republican necessarily either.
Yeah, me either, really. I mean, I claim that I'm a conservative Christian, me personally. But I used to be a Democrat. And sadly to say, and I mean, I'm almost ashamed to say it, but it's the truth. So I'm not going to, say that I wasn't when I was. And I moved to California, and when I moved into California, my eyes were open. Because the liberals here, they're from a different planet here, literally. I mean, literally, they are from a different planet here in California. So I used to live in Arkansas, just north of Texas. And the liberals there, they're, pretty much liberal, but they're in the southern states, so they kind of go along with everything else. But California, it's just a different animal here, different creature. And with Silicon Valley being here, the way they're all liberal, even Mark Zuckerberg even admitted that they're totally liberal here, and they're not even afraid to hide it.
Well, I was in California. I was in Berkeley. I saw it firsthand, and there's almost like, I don't know what it is. There's a resentment. I feel like, honestly, on average, I would say you could walk around in a Trump hat, and the average human isn't going to resent you and, want to hurt you or do anything to you. It's only an extreme case that you might run into that, except if you're in California or if you're in Portland or if you're in Seattle. I mean, even in New York, I think you can walk around and not get too much harassment. I mean, Joy Vila actually did it, and she caught some flack, but nothing like you see in Seattle or Portland or California. Those seem to be the most radical cities in America right now, at least from my experience.
No, you're right. I mean, I see it all the time here. And a lot of people, they say, Will, you're so brave. You go out here talking to these people, you confront them. And my thing is, I'm always talking about I don't want to be violent. And I think a lot of them don't attack me because I am a black male with dreadlocks. But a lot of them want to attack me because they don't like me exposing what they're saying. So I notice when we go out, like the gentleman I was saying about Ben Berquam, they'll kind of like get in his face and yell at him and scream at him. But in my case, they don't want to do that. All they want to do is bring harm to me because they don't like the fact that I go against their narrative. I go against the whole thing that they want, and they don't like it.
Well, that's why I thought your video was so powerful, because your video encapsulates that in a language that even, you know, a young child can understand. I mean, that's why it's so perfect to me. It's art. It's a message that I've never seen portrayed. And I don't even think we've talked about your video on this broadcast. And it's a video that I think I mentioned earlier when I was talking about our outreach, that's why we want to, you know, amplify videos like the one you made. And it just personifies perfectly exactly what you just said. And why would it be that way, right? I mean, these are the people that point at conservatives and say, why are you so racist against black people? And then a black man just shares an idea with them or wants to even exist and have his own political view. And it's like, you know, all of a sudden they hate it. So I don't know. I don't know how you break that down. But, you know, and also to comment on something you said earlier, how these people are, you know, destroying the culture, destroying the fabric of society. I mean, they're also literally destroying property. I mean, they're literally in the streets rioting, burning things with like they don't even care. I mean, I can't even imagine. I mean, I'm sure you've been the same way. I mean, when I was in college, I had a deep resentment for police. They broke up my parties. They wanted to bust me and my friends if we were smoking a joint. You know, like, these are the worst people in the world. But, you know, you get over it, and, you know, you realize that they're just out here doing a job. And to see the police have to just get explosives lobbed at them in Portland and in California, I'm just like, man, I had resentment for the police when they wanted to bust up my parties and tell me I couldn't drink when I was 20 or whatever, but like throwing explosives at police and like just, you know, trying to destroy property and rioting, it's like at some point, I mean, don't you realize that you're just like, this is just criminal behavior? It's like, do people even realize that they're acting criminal anymore?
Right. And even in Portland, the Antifa started complaining because the police were being too aggressive towards them. Did you see that?
Oh, that's what I'm saying. It's like okay, I'm an Antifa member. All right, okay. I'm gonna show up in the streets of Portland in essentially battle gear.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm gonna be with 200 of my other buddies,
shields,
who are wearing the exact same battle gear. We've got a battle flag.
Yes.
Okay, we're all in uniform. We're chanting battle hymns. We're out here clearly to destroy property and fight.
Right.
And we're throwing explosives. And the police want to stop me? Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Oh no, the police are trying to stop me from fighting people and vandalizing property. Oh my god. I mean, what?
Yeah, we're living in the twilight zone, just like you said on the War Room tonight. We are literally living in the twilight zone. Everything's upside down. It reminds me of Stranger Things. You know, where when you look up top and everything's nice and pretty and Trump's the president, and then you go flip it upside down, and guess what you have? You have Hillary Clinton, trash everywhere, and it's just dirty, and Hillary Clinton, this big monster coming. It's just like Stranger Things. You know what? I'm surprised no one has done a video like that. I've been trying to work on one. But that's exactly what it reminds me of.
What up, guys? Sorry. You guys enjoying? So you guys been going back and forth.
And they want to destroy all of us. They want it's like, they're just like vampires. They want our blood.
That's actually an interesting analogy, but I like that. They are like the upside down creatures.
Yes.
Crossing the Rubicon into our world.
Yes.
And trying to destroy it. Yeah, that's basically what it is. And I mean, man, we're having a good time and we're laughing here, but you know, this is a serious issue because, you know, there's something happening right now that I'm noticing, and nobody wants to really say it because they'll know they'll get banned. I mean, if Alex made the suggestion that I can't even say it. I'm basically self-censoring because I don't want to get your channel censored here, but it's like, you know, where does this end up, right? I mean, that's kind of what everyone is trying to figure out. Like, where does this end up? Like, Are these people going to finally go home and quit believing the lies about Trump? Is the media ever going to stop trying to incite a civil war because of Trump's election? Like, is this ever going to stop?
No.
Are people going to stop being harassed politically and even legally for their political beliefs? If it's not going to stop, I mean, someone's going to stop it.
Yeah, but they don't want it to stop. They want the chaos because, for one, they don't mind getting the ratings. And for two, they don't want Trump to be successful at anything.
That's why we're all here.
I was sitting there thinking earlier today, and I'm not saying that it's absolutely true, but I'm subject to believe that behind all of this, with the Apple and Twitter and Facebook, YouTube,
Apple is the demon.
I'm subject to believe that Hillary Clinton is like the main one behind all of it with George Soros. I'm subject to believe that.
Damn, no thumbs up, people? Come on.
I'm not saying anything because I don't know if you remember during the general election how she came out and was complaining about Alex Jones and InfoWars. And as soon as she did that, everybody's eyes were on Alex Jones at InfoWars. I mean, people who never heard of Alex Jones really started paying attention to him. And now all of a sudden, then he started getting attacked even more. So I mean, I don't have any proof on it. It's just because I remember her specifically pointing out Alex Jones. And everybody was like, who's Alex Jones? Who's Alex Jones?
Well, I think that Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton have always hated Alex Jones, and so they've always had it out for Alex. I think, though, that what we're dealing with now is beyond that. I think Alex is the test case, and maybe the Hillary Clintons of the world are, getting off to seeing Alex getting censored like he is, but I think that what we're dealing with now is something much bigger, much graver. It's beyond Alex Jones. Alex Jones is the test case. Alex Jones is the trial run, and Alex Jones is just the
He'll be there at least 7 years.
What we're dealing with,
the 7-7-7-7 prophecies.
I think there's a lot of different angles, honestly, and really at the end of the day, it is the giant criminal cabal that has corrupted our planet Earth. I mean, if you really want to get down to it, it is the giant criminal cabal that has stolen this world's resources, stolen this world's prosperity, and stolen this world's manifest destiny of freedom.
This world's run by Satan, mate.
It's really all behind that criminal cabal that's had their puppet in the United States president office for my entire life. And Trump isn't in it. Trump isn't their puppet, and so they're freaking out. And so the media outlets that got Trump elected, like InfoWars and Alex Jones and Michael Savage, who gets censored a little bit as well, and now they're claiming everybody else that's on the right to Stalin needs to be censored now. But they have to be shut down because they got Trump elected and they used social media to do it. So they have to figure out a way
in jail, that's for sure.
to get control of social media before the next round of important critical elections in the United States. So at one level, you could say, sure, it's Hillary Clinton, it's the Democrats. They want to get Alex Jones shut down, of course, and they're lobbying Congress. They're giving testimony. They're calling up whoever they can to try and get Alex Jones shut down. So we know the Democrats have something to do with it. And then you've got the Chinese, the communist Chinese, that want to do their Chinese-style censorship here in America, who are getting the keys to the kingdom of Apple. The first $1 trillion company in American history is actually Chinese now. They're getting the keys to Google. So you've got a China angle, you've got a Democrat
Nobody even understands
angle,
Apple and the bite taken out. It is the Satan
really
system.
Behind it's the criminal cabal that has run the United States of America's president for decades, that doesn't run Donald Trump, that cannot allow this to happen again. They cannot allow America to control its destiny. That is the ultimate goal. And if there's a free press in America, we will ultimately control our destiny. That's what our founding fathers understood. That's why they gave us the First and Second Amendment. And so if you take away the first, the second is after, but that's why we have the first. So that's why they're censoring people. It's for total control of this country.
Right. I mean, I completely agree with you. And this midterm election is the most important midterm election in American history, my opinion. And what they're doing here
Damn,
is
can people go off my channel, go on yours?
warfare.
You should.
I mean, they're straight up going to war with the American people, and because they're not getting what they want, they're willing to do anything they can to even destroy this nation if they have to, just so they can try to remove President Trump as much as possible. And you know, I just want to touch on it a little bit. I don't know how much time you have, so I just want to touch on this one thing. I think that one of the things that they want to do is go after Vice President Pence, because, to my understanding, he's leading the whole thing with the pedophilia that's going on in the country. And what does it look like if the media is just constantly only attacking the vice president and not going after Trump? That's just my opinion. Because, you know, the left, they don't have anything against pedophilia.
Isn't that amazing that standing up against pedophilia is now considered a partisan issue?
Exactly my point. They're like, it's okay because people want to be that way.
It's a lifestyle.
They're literally saying it. Yeah, it's a lifestyle. You can't stop them from loving who they want to love. I mean, it's almost like a sickness that's taking over these people, and they're like happy with it. The same thing like with abortion. You saw Chelsea Clinton, right? Where she just came out talking about.
Wait, she survived an abortion? Oh, that makes sense.
Well, you know, they said that she might not even be
Yeah. Chelsea Hubble.
Yeah.
She was looking extra Hubble today, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Well, she just came out and said that, you know, abortion is helping the economy.
She's supposedly gonna run for something. I don't know.
God.
That's God.
So that's exactly, it goes right along with it. The insanity of these people, and they don't even, it's like they don't even realize it.
But who even thinks like that? Who's like, how can I spin abortion positively? I mean, I know, we get rich off it. What?
Yes.
It doesn't even make sense, because what she's insinuating is she's saying because more women are in the workforce, therefore we have a higher GDP.
Right.
Hey, brain dead. You aborted as many women as there are in the workforce. So you'd have $7 trillion added to the GDP if you didn't abort all those kids. I mean, it's like the levels of stupid we're reaching are breaking records every day.
Yeah. And they're justifying the killing, and you know, they're saying go to work, make money, kill the baby. Make the money, kill the baby. Make the money, kill the baby. And that's exactly what they're saying. So the money is the root of all evil. So they're saying make money, make money, make money. Because I'm kind of curious, does she have stock in Planned Parenthood? I mean, is someone slipping her money from Planned Parenthood? Hey, go out and say this because people will listen to you. People will have more abortions.
This world is run by Satan.
That's the only reason why the economy is doing good, not because of what Trump's doing, because of abortion. I mean, at first when I was hearing, I said, this got to be a joke, right? She's
It is. Yes, it is, love.
And for anyone to listen to her and to seriously take her seriously, I mean, I don't think they're dealing with a full deck either.
No, these people are
how did we
crazy.
get here?
Well, hold on a second. Let's not recall what the governor of New York just said, Andrew Cuomo. He just said America's never going to be great. America was never that great. You're the governor of New York.
Wow, we stopped slavery.
The Empire State Building,
that great,
the Twin Towers, the stock market center, Wall Street, Times Square, Broadway. New York was never great. I mean, what? Buffalo, Niagara Falls. Am I missing something here? America was never great. It says the governor.
That's what
of
they
New York.
really try to do. They want to make pedophilia normalized.
You know, the city that never sleeps. You can make it here. You can make it anywhere. But America was never great. New York was never great. So, but you know what it is, Will? This is the craziest thing.
Yep.
Honestly, this is what it is. This is the Democrats admitting that they destroyed America. This is the Democrats admitting they destroyed America. It was the Democrats that fought for slavery. It was the Democrats that impoverished and made the inner cities unsafe. It was the Democrats that did that. It was the Democrats that put everyone on welfare. So everything that we're seeing is a result of the Democrats. So this version of America that they see, that they say America was never great.
I still think a little bit though, if we are the body of Christ, why are we waiting for him to come back to stop all these demonic devils? I think maybe it's up to us.
Is all thanks to the Democrats.
It is temporary, but I think we're still supposed to protect the children. That's the damn story.
They enslaved America. It's all been the Democrats. So all of this America.
So one thing God does not abide by is the hurting of innocents and children.
Exactly. And you know what? That's part of the message I was trying to get across in that video. Black in America. And you know, I've been wanting to do that video for over a year. And it's just, now was the time for me to do it. And I've been wanting to do it. And a lot of people look at it. I've had people tell me, say, Will, I saw that video. And even though I know you and I know it wasn't real, they said, man, I started crying because it really shows how we are today, especially towards black people. Because look how they do Candace Owen. I mean,
oh yeah, it does have 666 in it, just like the first computer that Apple ever sold.
Lunch or whatever, where they were having
$600 and 66 and 60 cents.
Hello.
$666 and 66 cents for the first home computer.
Because of them outside, instead of
with an apple, with a bite taken out of it, and nobody gets it. It's disgusting.
And then they go out there and they got that picture that's probably going to be in history, just like the Democrats were when the Five was trying to go to Central High School in Arkansas. Now here it is, you have Democrats yelling at another black female because they don't want them to be free thinkers. They don't want black people to be successful in this country. And then what really gets me is then when you talk to these leftists, even black people, they get angry with me because I say I want to be free. And there's no reason why you shouldn't be free.
Explain the bite. What does that mean?
I don't want to be under that tyranny.
Oh, okay.
For the life of...
So the bite out of the apple, that's pretty much, think about like how Eve took of the forbidden fruit and took a bite out of it and then took it to Adam. Have him take a bite out of it. That's what it is. It's the promise of all the knowledge, and that's what they're using it for. It's insane. And people don't see it, and it's like it's so right in front of our face. They put all of this stuff in front of our face, and people still don't see it. It's fucking disgusting.
Me, I can't understand how they get that mentality. And it was really amazing that these people claim to be so intelligent, to be so enlightened about everything that's going on around them, and they still want to live in poverty. And they
Sorry, it took me a second for what you're talking about. Sorry.
Of the Democratic Party.
Well, here I think is something that has the Democrats very scared, which again, the Democrats were the party of slavery. The Democrats have been fighting to enslave black people forever. The Democrats keep them enslaved on welfare and breaking up their families. So it's all the Democrats. And I think what's happened now is with all the propaganda in the media that gets young black men all hyped up to hate the white man or hate the police or whatever it is, I think that it's starting to backfire because what you're seeing is black people are starting to wake up and realize that their enemy was the person telling them who their enemy was the whole time. And so all of that anger is now being used as momentum to enlighten themselves and enlighten one another and actually change the world. And so black people are actually more empowered now than they've ever been. And I think that's why the Democrats are freaking out. I think that's why they're freaking out, because they know that if they don't have black people under their thumb, they're never going to win any elections. And they don't anymore. And so all the anger, all the resentment that the Democrats have been telling them to have.
There's always that point, and we've all been there. The more that you learn, the more that it pains you. But the whole thing is, after a while, it's not like you grow numb to it, but you grow to the understanding of it more. Not to say that you lose heart or that you lose your kindness, but after a while, you see what they're doing, you see the agenda, and it doesn't affect you much. But hey, still, the pedophile shit, that stuff affects me. That always hurts my heart. That and animals.
people are finally waking up and realizing it was you all along, and so it's starting to backfire on them.
Yes, yes. You know what? Out of all the countries on this planet, there's one planet, or there's one country, one planet. There's one country. There's one country where black people have it better than any country on the planet, and that is the United States of America. And they want to, and for some reason, they keep telling black people that they're still being oppressed. It's unbelievable that these people believe that nonsense, because the majority of these people have never been outside of the states. They have no idea how nice or how good or how the luxuries that they have.
Once you find that first big lie, everything starts to change. And it is freaking hard. This is not an easy path that we're on. This path that we're on is gonna be bad. Like I usually like to say, just realize that your head will be chopped off. You will be crucified. Once you can understand that and come to the understanding of that, nothing can scare you. But I know things really suck, because things still will hurt our hearts. I know.
Here, they have no idea, no clue. When I used to live overseas, I used to live in Germany. My father was in the military, and I always heard this story from the people that lived there. There was Germans or Turkish or what have you. They always said, even when we were white, black, standing next to each other, and we were Americans, they always said, "You Americans." They wouldn't say "you black Americans" or "you white Americans." They would say "you Americans." Or when they see the American flag, they would say, "I want to go there. I want to go there." It's here in the United States where we have the Democrats that's trying to use a person's complexion to try to divide us at an alarming rate, like they've always been doing, like the Democrats have been doing from day one. Since the beginning of the creation of the Democratic Party, that has been their goal, to use our complexion to divide us.
But that's why if we're the body of Christ, we better start doing something about it.
You and I talking,
be waiting for him,
having a conversation in agreement.
Representing America.
Yes, it runs all through them, and they don't like it. And you know what? And as long as God keep putting breath in me, I'm going to keep standing up, fighting for what is right, and I'm not going to back down. And a lot of people say, "Well, be careful." I'm going to be careful. You have to be careful, because these people are crazy. That's the reason why I did that video, because that's exactly what they want to do to us. And when they send Antifa, that's exactly what they want to do to us. They want to harm us. But as long as I can, I'm going to keep fighting.
Well, and I gotta say, to talk about, how people don't realize how good they have it here. I mean, you can even go, like you said, you can even go to the nicest parts of Germany, the nicest parts in France, the nicest parts in Brazil and everything, and it's gonna be nice, and you're gonna have, you can find good food, you can find, good places to live, but it's not nearly as in abundance or as exorbitant as it is here.
It pains me that I can't get people to see the symbols all in front of their faces.
Land we have here. I mean, it's not even comparable. You ask international students that come to America, what is the biggest difference? Most of them will say space. Like, goodness gracious, like, we're all cramped up everywhere we come from.
Shoot, I don't even know if I'm going to be saved. But I have a pretty good feeling I'm going to have to see the shit hit the fan. Because I don't believe in a rapture. Some dude came up with that in like the 1800s.
We have space here. Anybody can be a king and queen in America. Anybody can build a multi-million-dollar mansion.
We're going to have to see the shit hit the fan, people.
You can have a couple
I promise you this.
to build a multi-million-dollar mansion and probably get a mortgage or a loan to do it, because that's how people do it all the time, and then they fall into debt and lose it. So, I mean, that's only here in America, and for all the flaws and all the faults and all the history and everything, it's still the best country on earth, and it's not even close. I remember going to Rio de Janeiro, which was my first trip abroad, and I stayed in a great place. I loved it, and I was in a great place in Curitiba, and I thought Brazil was amazing. I'd go back there. I loved it, but man, it's not like, I don't even know. It's just, America is just it's more advanced. You have more options here. Yes, some of it may be more corporatized, and you may not like that, but guess what? Every city's different. And I just think people need to understand how amazing this country actually is. I mean, you can go,
I'm pretty sure everybody here, their family thinks they're nuts. It's okay.
Your entire bank account
They said he would come and deceive the world, has he not?
Top 5%. I mean, it's like people don't even understand how good we have it here.
Exactly. You're absolutely right. And for them to say, to try to destroy this country and try to say that America is racist, the people in America is racist, the president is racist, they don't want
I know he's kept me around for some reason.
They don't even want to know the truth. They only want to know what they've been fed, what they've been spoon-fed from CNN and the rest of them. That's the only thing that they want to know. And one thing that I've realized is that people, when they hear the lie, for example, when they hear CNN, because they constantly lie on CNN, and when they hear the lie feels good to them. And that's what they want to hang on to. And then when you have someone come along and tell them the truth, they get upset. That's when they start getting angry. And that's when they want...
Look, if we can make it through our own family and our friends and the ones that we love the most, if we can take their ridicule and push forward, nothing can stop us. Think about that.
I'm gonna start fighting with you. The whole thing when people say the truth hurts. That's exactly what that is. They don't want to hear it. They don't care. And you know what? Let me touch on this too. The flag that you have hanging behind you, the American flag. The left, they don't have any problems.
Why'd you lose 2,000 subs?
They don't have any problem stepping on it.
What the hell? Why'd you lose 2,000 subs?
They don't have any problem spitting on it. And that flag is the flag that freed white people, black people, brown people in this country. And not just in this country, but across the world. And they want to destroy it. And my point being is that everything that they find good in this country, Donald Trump included, they want to destroy it. And they're willing to do anything to do it. The whole censorship with InfoWars Alex Jones is a prime example. They want to shut down what they don't agree with. And when it comes to the truth, they most definitely want to shut it down. It's the very reason why Alex Jones InfoWars is going through what it's going through right now.
Any gun laws, the city gun law.
Patriot, Alex Jones
and goes
is
against the
an
Second
American
Amendment.
hero. And so, of course, they hate Alex Jones. And what does Alex Jones stand against? He stands against abortion. What do they love? Abortion. I don't understand it. I don't know. Again, you can call it whatever you want. Satan, Illuminati programming. It's there, right? It's never been more present. The fluoride in the water, the drugs, everything. It's never been more present. Whatever you want to chalk it up to.
What do you mean? Why you have a limit on comments, yo? What do you mean? A limit on comments? Yeah, they took all their freaking guns away. But what do you mean I got... What are you talking about? Let's see. What the hell, go?
It's never been more present, and this is we're at a tipping point right now, obviously, with humanity. We're about to enter a new age of humanity, and I hope it's pro-human. I hope that it's the greatest for all humans across the world, which we obviously have the resources and the potential to accomplish now. Or it will be the greatest hell on earth ever and be total tyranny and total slavery worldwide. That's what we're at the peak of right now. And for America, Trump represents resisting that and building a pro-human, pro-America future.
So let me ask you, with the Democrats, they're doing this blue wave, and the Republicans are those on the right have the red wave. I like to call it the red tsunami, and it's a red tsunami filled with red pills. And what do you think what do you think the Democrats will do if they are unsuccessful in removing the number of Republicans that they want come this midterm election?
They're gonna lose their minds.
Do you think there's any extreme that they will go to? I do. I think they're gonna bring the deep state's gonna come in full effect. The shadow government, the maybe even be a coup d'état in full effect. I truly believe that they're going to go to extreme measures if they don't get what they want in this midterm election. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, one thing I constantly either forget or underestimate is how high the left is on their own excrement. So these people actually believe the bullcrap that they peddle. I mean, they actually thought Hillary Clinton would win the election. They actually think Trump has colluded with Russia. Okay, so this is a perfect example of how the left actually believes and gets high off their own excrement. So while we're sitting here thinking, okay, it's so obvious that the blue wave isn't imminent. It's so obvious the blue wave looks like more of a splash. You know, it doesn't look like it's, you know. So, but someone might actually believe it.
Yeah, someone put in the comments that said the blue wave is liberal tears.
No, that's it. Exactly. So it was quite a wave. I mean, you know, the tide is rising when it comes to liberal tears. But I don't think blue in the Congress is. But we sit here and we're like, okay, you know, obviously the blue wave isn't imminent. I mean, maybe it could go either way at this point, but it looks like a red wave to me. But they actually believe this crap. They actually believe the stuff that they're saying. So I think they actually believe that the blue wave is going to happen. So perhaps they don't really have any response plan to it. They expect it, just like they expect Hillary. So they're so arrogant, I think they expect it. Now, the real deep state is well aware that the blue wave is probably just a pipe dream, and they're probably going to try to pull something before the midterm election. So, you know, who knows what's going to happen? I mean, hopefully nothing happens. I don't want to see violence. I don't want to see another 9/11. I don't want to see another Oklahoma City truck bombing. I just want to see fair elections in this country. I just want to see a democratic republic control its own destiny, you know, and that's really all that Trump supporters want. We don't have to agree on everything, but put America first, please. Like, wow, since when did that become radical?
Yeah, exactly. And with the left attacking the president, because you know what, I know him attacking the president and when the approval rating with black people was just the other day, I think it was like at 29%, and then the next day it came another report, went up to 31%, and it's still climbing, and they don't know how to react to it. You notice every time I watch CNN because I like to see what they're saying. Just like, you know, like Mark Dice, obviously he watches CNN and MSNBC and the rest of them.
And thank God, because that is some of the best comedy on the internet.
Yes, absolutely. I'm surprised they haven't gone after him because
won't that be a funny day? Won't that be a funny day?
Well, they demonetized him hardcore.
Oh yeah, they did. They demonetized him, and you know, every now and then, just like
we're not supposed to look forward to it. I know we all do,
go
but
in there and click the bell in YouTube because they stopped sending me notifications on it, and I said I have to go in there periodically and check it, just like on Facebook, Twitter, all the rest of them. You have to go in there periodically and check it. But you know, I really think that America is on the verge of a civil war. I truly believe we're in a cold civil war right now, and what the left is doing, they're really trying to get us all to fight for something, for any reason. If they can come up with any reason to have us all fighting, they will run with it. I truly believe that.
Well, make no mistake about it. There is a serious Cold War going on inside Washington, D.C., inside the FBI, inside the CIA, within the deep state, and patriots. So there is truly in every sense of it, a cold civil war going on right now inside our own government. And you can equate that, you know, to the same thing that's essentially happening in the streets of America where, we'll say left representation shows up, right representation shows up, the cops have to stand in between and take all the violence from the left in order to, you know, stop any potential fights from breaking out. So that's what you see, but you don't see the stuff behind the scenes that's as real as it gets.
Yeah, I agree with you. And you know, just like you brought up how the left is attacking police officers, DC, Antifa attacking news reporters, and the leftist news reporters not even reporting on it. There's video of it. That's the only reason why we got wind of it. Did you see that?
Oh yeah, and they always do it. I mean,
Yeah.
Wow,
It's
leftists
nothing.
attacking reporters, right? But their own network said, what did they say? They were just being aggravated or something.
Yeah, they were being aggravated, but no, they would literally attack the reporters. They were hitting the guys with the camera. I mean, it was despicable. So tomorrow, I don't know if you're aware, I'm going to be in San Jose. There's an event coming up tomorrow in San Jose. And to my understanding, it's for the young lady that was there that was getting the eggs thrown at her during the election and water and etc. And because of the police department didn't do anything about it. And
by the loving, tolerant left.
Yes, and grown men standing around not doing anything. And exactly, the loving, tolerant left doing all of these hateful things to a little lady because they felt threatened by her. See, they felt threatened by the little lady because she had on a Trump shirt. And she was white. And she was white. I mean, let's not forget that she was white. So all the issues right there in one. It's crazy. So
no. This is like, what this is like? I was a sports fan growing up. This is like a 9-year-old sports fan at the ball game, and somebody in the rival team's hat walks by, and he's like, screw the Cubs, or, screw the Yankees, or whatever. You're the bad guy. These people are still doing that, except on a very real level for politics in the year 2018. Mm-hmm. So if you walk by them wearing a Trump shirt, it's heckle them. Trump, racist, bigot. They're literally. It's like if you want to. It's almost like if you want to do an exorcism or something. Like if you want to exorcise the demons from these people, you just walk by with a Trump hat on, or you walk by with a Trump shirt on. Or, that just like exercises the demons. They just come out and like the demon possesses them. Like, racist, bigot,
Exactly. You know what? It's been a real honor to have you on with me. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. I've been looking forward to having you on. And I would love, I really like to get Rob to come on with me too, because I don't ever see him do too many interviews and videos.
Rob doesn't like doing on-air stuff. He likes doing his behind-the-scenes stuff.
I remember because I used to watch InfoWars when Rob used to get on camera all the time. You know, but here lately, I know he's just like working more in the background and stuff like that. But I would really like to have, just to do it with him one time. It's been, but we'll see. I know
Rob is on vacation right now, so he'll be getting back to work soon, and you can reach out, and I'm sure he'd be willing to come on sometime.
Yeah, and I know he's really busy too. So especially with
plus he's got 5 kids. I don't have any kids. I don't have a wife or girlfriend or anything. So
wow, 5. I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, good for him. So
lucky him.
Yeah. So do you wanna convey a message before you go? Tell anyone anything?
Well, I just want to say thank you for having me on. So. I wanted to say thank you for having me on because I have been blocked from going live on YouTube. So I'm basically just kind of doing a blitz right now, and anybody who wants me to come on their show and do an interview, I'm making time. So my response to the censorship is to just put myself out there more and just get on more platforms than ever and make, other YouTube channels, get more traffic as well. So that's kind of my goal for this whole thing is to build other YouTube channels that promote the same values and ideas that I have, and to just put myself out there while they're trying to erase me and InfoWars. So I know that you've been a big supporter of ours, and you're going to start filing reports for us. And so and again, I'm going to put that video out on my YouTube channel, and I'm going to maybe I'll air it again when I go on Monday too, because I think it's that powerful. So it's all about just fighting in the digital realm, fighting in the physical realm too, like when you go out to events like that and host events like that. So just thank you for all your great work. Thank you for having me on. Thank to all the patriots that are fighting out there. It's tough sometimes. You feel like you're the only one fighting, but we are out there. We're outnumbering the bad guys essentially, and if we just persist and pray and believe in ourselves, I think we'll eventually have the brighter America that we all think that we can have. But we cannot let division of whatever kind stop us from reaching that goal.
Yep, absolutely. Well, hey, thank you again for coming on with me. And I'm pretty sure that I'll talk to you sometime next week after this weekend. So
absolutely. Oh yeah, so you'll be live, and I'll also be live. There's going to be an event to march against the violent.
No, I didn't lose 2,000 subs. What was him? Yeah, Carson had said that, I think. Yeah, and I was asking him, why the heck did you lose 2,000 subs? I think he's gone already, though. All right, well, it has been a good one. Thank you guys for being here. And you know what? My phone is dying. Well, not this one, but this one. So I think I'm going to cut it off. Thanks for being here. You guys have a good night.